It's a new year. New coaches have taken over successful programs at New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Nicholls State has their title coach back for another title shot. The high schools are geared up and ready to go. So are we. Sports on the Bayou is back. Our very own Cajun Cannon Bobby Hebert, well, he's offering in-depth analysis and game strategies. Former Pro Bowler Rich Marty brings his candid talk back for another year. Mike Detillier will offer his great insight to the sports news each and every week. This year, the vivacious Debbie Cox DeNova will have her own segment, Good Vibes. Our high school expert, Stan Gravois, will be on hand to discuss high school standings. The thumper, Harry McCullough, will focus on Nicholls State's season. The infamous Dr. Pat Hagan is back, and he'll get to ask his question each and every show. This year, our naming sponsors will be a part of the show. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. St. Martin & Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Some perennial corporate sponsors are also on hand. They are South Louisiana Bank, i.e., Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality, BioPure, and BCG Services. This year, I'll assume a new role. I'll be a chief referee who will make sure that everyone gets equal time.
Yeah, right.
Now from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, it's time for Sports on the Bayou.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier, along with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, Rich Marty. We've got a lot to talk about today. First of all, we'll talk a lot more about what happened Monday night with Damar Hamlin and what happened on the football field. Is the greatest fear that you have if you're a parent or a player, that something like that could happen. So our thoughts and prayers are with Damar and also his family, teammates, everybody involved. It was certainly chilling to see what we saw Monday night, but we'll talk a lot more about it right after this break here on Sports on the Bayou.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin & Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Sports on the Bayou.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
I'm Chris St. Martin.
And I'm Chuck Bork.
Truth is, nobody wants to hire an attorney. If you're coming to us, it's probably one of the most difficult times in your life.
But it's also true that if you've been injured, you need someone to explain your rights.
Since 1967, St. Martin & Bourke has been helping the people of South Louisiana understand their rights. If you've been injured and want to know more about your rights, call us for a free consultation today.
Sports on the Bayou's corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, BioPure, along with BCG Services. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, our Saints segment. Saints 20-10 over the Philadelphia Eagles, and guys, it goes to show you, because people have a different look at it. High school football and college, you can have more talent, and you can overcome a game like that. In the NFL, the talent margin is real thin. And you know what, Sunday? The Saints were a better football team. And it was about as dominant a first half as I've ever seen with the Saints.
Ever.
They're going to get a first down to 11 seconds.
Hey, listen, if you look at 50-plus years of Saints football, they've never had a first half like this.
They left points on the board.
Okay, and you got to think, the Eagles were averaging 30 points a game. When you look at, the Saints set the tone. Look at that drive. This is like picture perfect how you go to bed at night. You want to have, they go 15 plays, 75 yards, basically ate up 9 minutes. Then you look at the domination in the first half. The Saints had 247 yards to 61. And they didn't, Rich, like you said, didn't give up a first down until 12 seconds before halftime. This is like one first down.
Yeah,
I mean, it was unbelievable. Listen, it was so bad. Look how the great season the Eagles are having. They were booing. The Eagles fans were booing their own team, and they considered the best in the NFC.
How critical? Go back to how critical is the quarterback, right?
Taysom Hill. Making the run, getting to the 1 yard line, then he scores, and they ran the same play over and over, and the Eagles couldn't stop it. Back to pass, he throws this one downfield, gets the completion.
With Chris Olave,
Olave, and it sets up a Will Lutz field goal, so it makes it 10-0. And, man, you say, man, come on, somebody pinch me here. Again, and then deep downfield, Rashid Shaheed.
All I know is when it hits Rashid Shaheed in the hands, he catches. Like a punt, anything, he catches everything.
He's going to be an influence next year, boy.
And then Taysom Hill gets it down to the 2 yard line. But again, the Eagles, they bowed up defensively, get a field goal. Now it's 13-0. Now, real late, the Saints had an opportunity here to put more
That
points.
was the only bad pass Andy Dalton should have hit the check down with Jawan Johnson, and they probably would have been leading 16-0 at half.
And the Eagles would have had no first down in the first half.
No first down.
Demario Davis
almost intercepted
comes up with the block, but then they get the field goal, kicks it through. So now it's 13-3 with Elliott's field goal. And then here you said, oh, my God. Gardner Minshew throws one up. A.J. Brown.
What was that?
Well, Paulson and Debo's out of control. That's not a penalty. You're out of control. You got to, okay, you might get burnt, but you can't give up a big play like that.
So now it's 13-10. Minshew back to pass, and this was sealed the deal moment.
Well, he's the top 5 cornerback in the NFL. Lattimore, they've missed him, and that's the kind of plays he can make.
That's our first one this year.
First one
pick six. By a cornerback and a pick 6.
Yeah. And then Cam Jordan gets one of the 3 sacks that puts him over the Saints record of Ricky Jackson. And congratulations to Cam, 115 total sacks as a New Orleans Saint. He'll end up in Pro Football's Hall of Fame.
Oh, without a doubt.
Now, he got a little bit going to catch Ricky.
But like 13 and a half, he has to get more.
Because Ricky set that a little bit more when he went to San Francisco.
And he won a Super Bowl with the 49ers, got 13 and a half sacks. So he's only 33 years of age. I think he's going to surpass the great Ricky Jackson.
Congratulations to Cam Jordan. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, Sports on the Bayou will go in the audience and introduce the naming sponsors and the guests that have come for this week's show. It's all right after the break.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, you got it.
All right, thank y'all very much. Good crew here today, but once again, can we have a big round of applause for law enforcement, fire personnel, paramedics, especially after last night's game. We're going to talk about that later. And Dr. Pat's going to have Dr. Garcia on to talk about that injury last night. But Debbie, we got some big sponsors here.
Yes, first one, Alfred and Associates.
Y'all give them a big hand. Big naming sponsor.
Well, they might be picking better. We have to see after this week. So.
All right, next up.
St. Martin and Bourke.
All right, give it up for him. Come see, young fella. He told me he knows everything about football.
That's awesome.
All right, first of all, come on up here. Let me let the camera situate on you. Got to get you a good look
You got
for
the
TV.
smile down?
What's your name?
My name is Roddy Jesclair. I am from Cutoff, Louisiana.
Oh, hold on.
Well, who kicked the longest field goal in New Orleans Saints history?
I'm going to go with Will Luntz in Week 4, 2022-2023 season, 61 yards.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Yeah, obviously he's too young to remember Tom Dempsey. So.
You remember Tom Dempsey?
I know Tom Dempsey. He had something with his foot, didn't he?
Well, he had half a foot, yeah, but he overcome. He had a handicap.
We got to round off and give him a victory in that.
Without a doubt. He knows his football.
Anything you want to leave the audience with? Why don't you try to stump Bobby real quick?
Okay. So how many passing yards you had per your most passing yards in the season?
He knows that exactly.
Okay.
No, I do not. I know total, counting, because USFL is professional football. I was about, I think, 33,000 yards. So I had that. Counting in a season, Mike, I don't know, you might know this more than me. I think it was around a little... I know it was with the Falcons. Not
I know
with the
it was
Saints.
with Atlanta.
Yeah, because they were in the shooting. It was. It wasn't quite 4,000 yards. It was more over 3,000.
Well, you can think about it. Y'all give it up for Roddy.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right,
young fella. Thank you. All right, who we got, Debbie?
Rouse's.
All right, Rouse's. They are full of paramedics and state police, sheriff's deputies, and fire personnel. Thank you all for being here. Next up.
Harry and Dr. Pat at the talent table.
Harry and Dr. Pat scheming over there as usual. Okay, we got a minute 25 left. Who else we got?
South Louisiana Bank.
All right, so they still in that high-level meeting, I guess, from last week. Next up.
Terrebonne General Hospital Systems.
Yeah, we got to thank Terrebonne General. They always do a great job. And those help on the sidelines medically, we saw how important that was last night.
Critical.
Okay.
I'm glad Percy got perfect attendance.
He does. He does. All right, next up.
Barker Honda.
Barker Honda. And Harry's going to have a special guest, Lester Broad. All right.
BioPure and BCG.
Boy, and Harvey had a great idea. We're going to ask him about it later, but it's a pretty doggone good idea, got to say. All right.
Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government.
Look at that group over there in the corner. Motley crew over there. All right.
GIS and Port Commission.
And look, we got the two mayors, the current mayor and the newly elected mayor.
Oh, they get along? That's a good thing.
We got Tommy Estee and Kevin Claymore. Yeah, they.
Oh, Tommy really get along now.
They get along
His
great.
clock is ticking.
They get along great. Okay, and we two legends over here sitting down. Coach Albert couldn't make it. He's staying home because he doesn't have COVID, but he was exposed to COVID.
Okay.
All right, next up.
Terrebonne Parish School District.
All right, and of course they're off. I think until what, tomorrow? I think, I'm pretty sure.
Still the holidays,
All
right?
The whole week they're probably.
And then, of course, Tita.
And CIS.
And Dr. Garcia is going to be joining Dr. Pat. We're going to talk about that injury. So we'll leave it to the medical people to talk about. And last but not least.
We had Mom's Table.
Yeah, my cousin Francis, Miss Ida. We got Donna here. We got Aunt Miriam. Wave, Aunt Miriam. You're getting more airtime. She's racking up on the airtime. And Mama sends her love to everybody. She's doing great. All right, Mike, we'll kick it back to you.
We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Coming up on Sports on the Bayou, we'll talk LSU football. We'll break down the highlights and analysis of this week's game and the upcoming game. You won't want to miss it. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Sports on the Bayou.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
If your child is suffering from recurrent croupy cough, bronchitis, reactive airway, or persistent asthma that's difficult to control, please listen carefully. Your child may be suffering from adenoid sinus bronchial asthma syndrome, as we now know that undetected or uncontrolled infection in the upper airway can affect the lower respiratory tract. If this is happening to your child, please call us for an evaluation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. Just a total domination. LSU 63-7 over Purdue. And I was telling Rich this. I told this to Bobby. That's okay to have Drew Brees on the sidelines. As long as he wasn't playing, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he can't throw it.
But, man, LSU dominant up front. All the quarterbacks all hit. I mean, if it was Jaden, if it was Nuss, it even gave Walker Howard his shot late. And I'm glad to see Walker running around because he had some leg injuries in high school. And so we're going to go. We got a bunch of highlights of that LSU game. Early on, Jaden Daniels to Mason Taylor, 19 yards. But the MVP of this game, Malik Neighbors, goes 14 yards, first down.
I mean, Kayshawn who? Come on, Malik Neighbors.
From Destrehan, John Emery Jr., 1-yard touchdown run. And they put in Nuss, throws it downfield, complete.
The only thing he might end up at TCU, watch. Oh, no.
He could, right? He can play.
Then a guy that Rich knows a little bit about, Noah Kane. He gets some playing time at LSU, and then Jaden throws it downfield. Watch this move. Mason Taylor gets around him and gets in for the score.
So Purdue representing the Big Ten, Rich. You have to be disappointed.
Wait. Don't just pick out isolated like that just for your narrative. Hey, Bear, let's talk about Penn State.
That's true.
Turkey.
Then again, Noah Kane goes in for the score, and the avalanche was on. And then late, man, a pick for LSU. Gets it downfield, and it sets up a situation where LSU's going to go in at halftime, 35-0. Do a little reverse with Malik, and he throws it downfield.
Oh, nice move.
Well, he actually read the coverage.
Yeah.
That was a nice play.
And hits Thibodeau's own Kyron Lacey. Gets it down to the 10-yard line, and then just throws it downfield. Gets it to Brian Thomas Jr. He gets in for the score, 35-0. And again, Malik pitches this one out. Touchdown to Jaden Daniels.
Now, who's actually watching this game right now over the Tulane USC game? You'd have to hate Tulane to not watch, to keep watching LSU.
And then that was the only
like
guy.
my dad would have done.
Yeah. But LSU, again, the speed level, Rich, because that to me really stood out of how much faster LSU was
no question.
in comparison to Purdue. The speed level was off the charts, and every time Purdue tried to make something happen, LSU would come up with a big play.
That was a nice play. Drew Brees probably designed that.
You're right. I think you got that speed was just off the chart.
And then this one here, someone blew a coverage. Purdue gets their only score of the game, 49-7. But LSU, again, Derek Davis, who was in the transfer portal, comes out of the portal and plays running back, gets in for a score. Then you would figure Wilson gets the interception.
Man, I thought LSU would win by 3 touchdowns, not by 50 points.
But nothing like this. LSU got the over all by themselves with this run back. Frank Wilson's son goes in for the score, and you can see everybody was thrilled to have him in. Again, 56 points.
And to get to 10 wins, I'm telling you, this is big for the program.
Let me tell you, I agree with that. I think Kelly has proven to everybody. You got to be crazy to leave LSU right now and go in that portal, I think. Unless you had issues.
Quarterback.
But they can't play everybody.
Can't play all the quarterbacks.
Okay, if you got Howard, you got Nussmeier, and then you have Jay Daniels coming back. I mean, Nussmeier said, I'm going to play.
He's going to play. But he's
not going to play with Jane Daniels.
No,
that's why he's going to TCU. Watch.
No. Garrett, I think, is going to have 2 opportunities. One at TCU because Max Duggan's leaving.
Right.
Yes.
And his connection to Dave Aranda at Baylor.
Oh, hello.
Can they bring Baylor back?
You heard it right here.
Baylor's got a lot. TCU's a lot further ahead than Baylor.
And he would fit both systems. He's a gunslinger. He didn't like me calling him that. He was like, Coach, why you always say it? I said, it's the truth. He takes chances out on the field. There's nothing wrong with that. Brett Favre was a gunslinger.
Yeah, this is the first game I can honestly say that once LSU's winning 14-0, maybe I would click back before I head to the Silver Sliver, Mississippi. But I was watching Tulane and USC. My dad's probably rolling over his grave. What? Don't give Tulane credit. I mean, Come on, you got to focus on LSU. But what a win by Tulane.
It's the biggest win in the modern day era.
That's a game of the century. It's game of the century.
To show you like Tulane and where they're at, because this hasn't happened. Look, when you look at this, what they actually accomplish, Mike, this is a game that you got to go back to 1935. That's like right after the Depression. I mean, what? I mean, it'll go down to me the biggest victory in school history. It's just the second time the Green Wave has ever won a major bowl, and they beat Temple from Philadelphia in the Sugar Bowl 1935.
And we got
highlights. Now think about that.
And we got highlights.
Oh, we got Tulane highlights?
Tulane highlights.
And I want to add it to a hullabaloo.
That's Bobby's guy, Caleb Williams. He goes. Yeah,
that's all I want to say.
He's not the reason. He made some spectacular.
He threw for
a run, man. A couple of passes.
Listen, he threw for 400 plus yards. I mean, the USC defense sucks. I mean,
and he wasn't 100% either.
No, he wasn't.
He had my hamstring.
Then Caleb running around and he finds Brendan Rice. Guess who his dad is? Jerry
Rice's son.
But hey, Tulane came back. Michael Pratt.
But talk about a winner. That's a winner right there.
With everything on the line, Michael Pratt made it work yesterday. But then they went to the stud.
Yeah.
Tajay Spears goes in for the score. It's 14-7.
Did they give him the MVP since Tulane won?
The MVP.
He ran for over 200 yards.
Then Caleb trying to get greedy, and Jarius Monroe, we saw him at Nichols. He transferred to Tulane, makes a big interception, but they did pick on him. But then look at this play. Man, gets it downfield. Jaquan Jackson from Destrehan High School.
But look at a block by number 6.
Yep. Gets it in. Nice 14-14. But Caleb Williams and company came right back. Quick call, and they get it in for the score here, making it now 21-14. And again, Caleb with his feet, and look at that dart.
Well, it's like Pat Mahomes.
Oh my God.
It's like the college version of Patrick Mahomes.
He can.
But guess who's back in town?
Tajay Spears.
Tajay Spears getting it back for Tulane, cuts the lead, and then Tajay
breaking tackles.
Miss. Out in the open field, gets it in, nice 28.
How can you pay 21. The USC head coach, Lincoln Riley, $10 million and the defense sucks this bad? They've sucked at Oklahoma and now USC. You got to pay some defensive coordinator. USC alumni say, we got to get some defensive coordinator that we're not in a shootout every game.
Well, they better learn name, image, license for that defensive. Then Tajay Spears gets him right back in. It's 35-24. He brings it down to the 2-yard line. And again, man, keep giving it to him. The ball ain't heavy, and it's Tajay Spears for the score. Michael Pratt throwing it down the middle.
Okay, look, it's like 4 minutes left. They're losing 45-30.
Come on, Watts.
Tulane won't have enough time to catch up. Not so fast.
I don't know about that. Then again, Tajay for the score. Michael Pratt, cool under pressure. 45-39, takes off with it on a fourth and 6, and he gets 8 yards. Then again, 2nd and 10. Pratt throws it downfield.
But what a dart! What a dart!
That should have been to me, helmet to helmet.
What are they looking at?
I don't know. Okay, this is the touchdown play. Initially, it got ruled that he dropped it, but if you watch,
it never hit the ground.
The ball gets kind of stuck in his crotch,
and it never hit the ground.
Never hit the ground.
That official is probably from L.A. I mean,
there were a couple calls
that was the same one, the Saints-Rams game. That he was like, oh no, incomplete.
Now think about this. Last year, Tulane, a 2-win team, they turned it around to 12-2 this year. It's the biggest turnaround in college football history. That has never happened before. A 2-win team to get to 12.
So why is he not coach of the year?
He was. He was the Bobby Dodd. He was the Bobby Dodd coach of the year.
Yeah, then Sonny Dykes. It's like a win-win.
And so everybody kind of gets a piece of the pie. Yeah, Sonny got one.
Well, Mike, we talked about this last night, and when you think about it, and this is what we so intrigued about football, college football, NFL, whatever, how you could turn things around. The coaches don't have 3 or 4 years anymore.
No, you can't get that line no more.
Transfer portal, it's like 1 year. Look at TCU before Sonny Dykes. Patterson had unbelievable success.
5-7.
At TCU, they were 5-7. He gets fired. TCU's in the national championship. And then you look at Tulane. Tulane's, how can you not love Coach Fritz? You want to talk about a good human being.
I think
Coach Fritz is an unbelievable human being.
I want to start a movement. You know, we do have an extra chair up here. And next year, we could enlighten the show potentially and maybe have a segment with Fritz on here and see what he's doing over there.
Well, that's up to Martin.
I mean, I'm not getting any feedback. I'm not hearing anything.
Might be able to,
Harry, come on, jump in, Harry. Give me some help
might be able
here.
to make that happen with Willie.
Hey, because Coach Fritz wants to recruit the Bayou and River region, so he'll come.
It's good for the kids. It's great for the kids.
For the kids, and Martin's going to give them a few ducats. Coach Fritz,
Destrehan High School.
Yeah.
Man, I never remember Tulane getting 3 kids from Destrehan in one recruiting cycle. So he is down here recruiting.
He's going to get after it.
And he's going to do a good job.
A winning program does that for
And you know who's back in Tulane? You know, it's all about the money a lot of times. You know that stadium they have? They said, oh, you know, it was like, they're playing in the dome, it's empty. So they build Yeoman Stadium. You know who built that stadium? Y'all heard of the Glazers? You know, a lot of fans don't know that.
Coming up, Debbie Cox DeNova will have her Good Vibes segment. Stick around. You may learn something.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
I'm Chris St. Martin. Many of us know what it means to have roots here on the Bayou. I'm no different. My family has been here for generations. Likewise, the firm of St. Martin and Bourke has been helping the injured in this region for almost 50 years. We're honored to serve the people of South Louisiana and the Bayou region. Remember, if you've been hurt in an accident and you want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today to schedule your free consultation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bourke attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. It's our Good Vibes segment. Debbie, you got it.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Hi.
Hi, Deb.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right. Thinking back, Bobby and Rich, on the influence that participating in sports has had on your life off the field. We're talking today about off-field advantages of participating in sports, both personally and culturally. Former NCAA All-American athlete Sean Adams says that he makes the case for that sports is the last bastion, especially for children who grow up in households where there's not a consistent father figure, which is 15 million children. Historically, the fixtures that have, for example, helped boys become men in those homes, church, military, and sports. Church attendance is down to 20%, according to census reports. If we follow European trends, which we typically do, we're going to be down to 12% in 2025. The military is at the lowest point of attendance since World War II. 80% of applicants get turned away. So sports is the last bastion. We know that there's obviously exercise benefits, but there's all sorts of off-field advantages as well. Learning how to be coachable or teachable in life is extremely important. A growth mindset, like I'm not getting it today, but if I work hard, I can get better, right? Resilience from failure. Teamwork, well, you know, not letting your team down with your performance. Personal accountability, daily excellence, the list goes on and on. But I want to know from you guys, what is it, when you look back on your career, what influence did participating in sports have on you as men?
Well, I'm going to let Rich go first, but I'm just going to say one statement that came to my mind. I don't want a real job. You know, if I can make it in pro football and get well compensated, what? I can really get ahead in life. Mm-hmm. Now, so go ahead, Rich. I'll comment more. Go ahead.
I know you will. To be able to sit up here with these two gentlemen that know everything about football.
If you didn't play, Rich, you wouldn't be doing this.
I would be, if I didn't play, you're exactly right. If I didn't play, I grew up in New York on Long Island. On all my friends,
wouldn't you be a longshoreman?
I'd have been in the bagel business because I worked in the, believe it or not, all my friends, they were all Italian guys. They worked for a Jewish guy. Al Goldberg was the owner of the bagel place. Richie Caravella, Claudio Fascini, Gaspar Scaturo, myself. It was like 8 Italians. They all opened bagel places. And I went to play football at Penn State, and they were all like, oh, I want to play football. I said, I want to eat some bagels. I'd have been in business up there. But what it opens up is culturally to be 12 hours a day with different cultures around the country, different players, different areas of the country, I think, and to learn how they live. I think the family environment for many of the guys that don't have that, to be part of that group that really, I mean, you got to be tight in the locker room. You spend a lot of time together.
And you were in some good and some bad locker rooms, too.
Oh, I don't want to, we could do a show on the bad ones, because at 1 in 15 season, when we just had tremendous racial issues, drug problems.
They were doing too much cocaine. That's what happened.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm keeping it real.
It was ugly. It was just ugly. But
no, that's what happened.
I was a player rep at the time, so you can imagine what that
poor
was.
Rich.
How'd you get that job?
But I learned more about people under stressful situations, being the player rep and going through those tough times. Now, I don't like them, but we learned from them, and I think that's helped me a great deal in my life. The way I help business helped me in business tremendously to go through that tough time. It's not everybody's going to be a Super Bowl champ, right?
And the whole thing, Rich, I think the underprivileged kids, they look at this as a way out. Mm-hmm. You know, you might say, well, you live in a football fantasy, and that's why I think you need that father figure, even like Boys and Girls Club, whatever. Now, I was fortunate with my dad. That my dad loved football, but he was the first one. He graduated from LSU, a civil engineer. And he says, well, I hope you can work out in football, but you got to pass in school. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to you have to excel and graduate to get your foot in the door to have an opportunity. Now, I think it's a combination. Can you be a college graduate? Or can you learn a trade? We don't have enough plumbers around the world. If something goes wrong in my house,
electrician,
it's like what? Yeah. I mean, learn a trade. Or learn something that you could be the best of the best, and I think that goes a long way. But the one thing, like my dad always emphasized with me, that, listen, football is all great, but he was more proud when I graduated from college, and even because I went back to school, we won the USFL championship, I was MVP and all that. My dad was all high-five and all, but he cried when I graduated.
We'll be right back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, Harry McCullough with a live studio guest as Sports on the Bayou continues.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Exciting news from Barker Honda. Introducing the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V. A new rugged design, longer, wider, with a significantly broader stance. Spacious interior with more premium high-tech features. More second-row legroom comfort. Plus, larger rear cargo space with power tailgate. Hurry in and see the all-new, larger 2023 CR-V now in stock at Barker Honda, your local President's Elite Award-winning dealer.
Terrebonne General Health System, where medical science meets the art of caring, is committed to providing the latest advances in medical technology with a gentle, caring touch. This is evident in our high-tech, high-touch approach to healthcare. As a trusted healthcare resource, we deliver both life-saving, compassionate inpatient services and life-changing preventive care, while also providing wellness needs and outreach throughout the Bayou region. To learn about how Terrebonne General is providing innovative healthcare solutions, visit tghealthsystem.com.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. H, you got it.
We're going to talk Nichols, and Ross McWhorter is with us. He's out of Houston, Texas, former baseball player at Nichols, but he's now with Nichols Sports Properties. So let's bring in Ross. And so your job, corporate partnerships, brand awareness, that kind of stuff. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so like you said, corporate partnerships, what I do essentially is I sell partnerships for Nichols State Athletics to local businesses. So they come in, they say we want to advertise through the venues. They can have signage, promotional opportunities, radio, TV. We are on ESPN Plus now. So we broadcast there. So lots of great opportunities, but essentially I sell those opportunities to local businesses, and then I fulfill those opportunities during the games.
Yeah, I got you. So a lot of signage stuff. We always talk about facilities here, and the Book Vault, the new facility there, one of the largest private donations. I don't know if you got that commission. I'm just joking.
I did not, unfortunately, no.
But that's what it's all about, right? Raising awareness and raising funds to go back to the program.
Correct. Yeah, all that revenue that I bring in goes straight to the athletes.
Right.
Which I was one of those athletes, so it's very exciting for me to be able to give back to a school that I was a part of and help improve those student athletes' lives through that revenue.
So you are under JT, or you're under the Nichols administration?
Correct. Well, I basically work for JT as well as the CAA, the Colonel Athletic Association.
Right. It's Jonathan Terrell, the athletic director there. Tell me about today's world, and it's so rapidly changing. When you're talking about athletics, you're talking about raising funds, you're talking about NIL, you're talking about transfer portal, all of that stuff.
Right.
When y'all have y'all meetings and start talking about what it's going to look like down the road, what does it look like in y'all ideas?
There's a lot of moving parts. Like you said, NIL is a huge thing. I've had a lot of potential sponsors come up to me and ask about, hey, is there potential for us to sponsor an athlete and have them do advertising for us? And there's a lot of moving parts with that. We're still kind of learning all the ins and outs, what we can do, what we can't. But it's definitely exciting to see all these cool things happening in this space. And I think it's a great opportunity for student athletes to be able to earn some money for all their hard work.
Sure, so. Without a doubt. I remember when I was in Lafayette, now I'll keep it different, but it was Pepsi and Coke always fighting, right? And if Pepsi was one of them, then Coke couldn't be anywhere on the property. Correct. I don't know if we do that in Thibodeau or not, and I don't want to bring up any names. But is that a way to get around some of that stuff? Like if Pepsi's going to be the on campus, maybe Coke will sponsor an athlete.
I think the tough part is obviously you can't have competing brands, even if it's NIL versus the school itself. It's hard to be able to have competing brands if they're official. That's the main thing. Is if there's an official tag, you cannot have competing brands on the same space. So that's kind of one of those moving parts we have to figure out. How can you do that? Now, an athlete can do a separate deal. That completely separate from the school, and that can be a competing brand. That's not really an issue.
Ross, one question. Probably the biggest complaint I heard about Nichols is that you couldn't find Nichols gear anywhere other than if you went on campus. Today that's changed a bit.
Because you're online?
You can go online, but also stores in the area are carrying much more Nichols gear. And I think, I don't know who came up with that, but that was smart, because that was the one thing I heard a lot of complaints about. I'd love to have a Nichols hat. I want a Nichols shirt, short sleeves, long sleeve, jacket, whatever. And you guys have pushed that really hard.
Yeah, we're working on that. It's a very important thing. We want people to be rocking Nichols gear and showing their support for Nichols. So we've been working very hard to make that more available to people in the public space, for sure.
Okay, so what's next? What's down the road? What's big for us?
Well, I'm excited about baseball. I'm a baseball player, like you said. Played 2015 and 2017. Our new head coach, Coach Silva, is doing a great job kind of taking things to another level. Last year was his first year, had some big wins, beat Tulane, beat ULL, beat Louisiana Tech, where he came from. So I'm very excited about the season that's coming up. I think he's brought in some really good players. He's got a really good mentality, and I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, you're right. Well, Ross, best of luck. And Bobby, if you want to make some donations to higher ed, here's a good spot to start.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Coming up, Dr. Pat gets to ask his question of the week as Sports on the Bayou is right around the corner.
I'm Chris St. Martin.
And I'm Chuck Bork.
Truth is, nobody wants to hire an attorney. If you're coming to us, it's probably one of the most difficult times in your life.
But it's also true that if you've been injured, you need someone to explain your rights.
Since 1967, St. Martin and Bork has been helping the people of South Louisiana understand their rights. If you've been injured and want to know more about your rights, call us for a free consultation today.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Sports on the Bayou's corporate sponsors are South Louisiana Bank, Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute, Barker Honda, BioPure, along with BCG Services. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, and it's Dr. Pat's segment.
Asking all the questions. While you asking all the questions, making statements.
Oh, we had good rhythm.
All right, guys.
We had good rhythm, Dr. Pat.
Doc, before you go to the doc, so to speak, Dr. Doc, man, I got to say this. What we saw last night with Damar Hamlin, we are very fortunate in this area, high school and college, that we have people in police department, also to athletic trainers.
We were just talking about that.
And to have that, they may have saved, I think, no doubt, Damar Hamlin's life, that they did CPR, got on the field quickly, and got that done. Because if not, he's not gonna make it.
You got about 3 minutes.
And so it's real short. And so, man, I got to praise the people. If it's at Terrebonne, we got them here every week. Thibodeau, you name it. In this area, to have those people that are there at that moment, and it was a real short period of time to have it done. Go ahead, Doc.
Well, you're exactly right. We were talking about that earlier, in that you have to recognize the injury because the clock's ticking. And we're blessed in this area that I work with athletic trainers, EMTs. They're at our high school games. They're at our college games. And how many do we have in the office here that are in emergency medical services or paramedics or EMTs? Y'all stand up if you could. Come on. Yeah. You guys are heroes. Yeah, look.
Really? I'm standing up to applaud. That's unbelievable. Yeah. That's saving lives.
All right.
And also, too, the police department to get you out of there.
Absolutely.
Right. Because a lot of times that's part of it, too, to get you out of that stadium outlet.
No, you're right. And there were 2 injuries yesterday at the end of the LSU-Purdue game. The Purdue cornerback went down, and they had to put him on a board, put a C-collar on him, and take him to Orlando Regional Medical Center. I was talking to my wife that center is 2 miles away from where the game was. That's where I did my first 2 years of trauma surgery in Orlando. Wow. This is what I did. But I always know it's these guys that are the first responders, because if they don't do their job, there's nothing for guys like Mike and I to do. Yeah. So we have Dr. Mike Garcia, a general surgeon. And Mike, why don't you take us through when injuries like this occur, and the EMTs are assessing a patient, stabilizing, and then the process of coming in as the trauma surgeon and rapidly assessing what the problem is and instituting corrective action.
So last night, when I was watching this, and I saw the injury and I saw him go down, the first thing that occurred to me was the diagnosis. And the diagnosis, I believe, I'm not sure they've mentioned it anywhere in the news, is something called commotio cordis.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's something that happens when you have blunt trauma to the chest. It occurs in 18 to 22-year-olds, most common athletes.
Right.
Either be a hit like this, or a baseball, or a hockey puck, karate hit. The trauma is strong enough to disrupt the electrical system of the heart, and they go into atrial fibrillation, and then so it's a high mortality injury unless you get to them right away. And like Pat was just saying, the guys on the side of the field, on the medical staff, they're well trained to see this injury. The medical staff on the sidelines knew right away what they were dealing with. It's interesting that the first thing they have to do is get those shoulder pads off. And that is not easy. But they actually are trained to do that as well. They know how to get through those shoulder pads quickly. And then, because they have to get the pads on them to do to defibrillate, because that's the treatment, immediate treatment is to defibrillate. I don't know if he's going to have normal brain function when he finally comes around. I've followed some of the news today. I haven't seen any indication that they're protecting his privacy. But I will tell you that this is the kind of thing you would fear. It's the worst kind of injury. But it was obvious to me watching last night that the folks on the sidelines knew immediately what they were dealing with. So
I agree.
You know, isn't it? Now, how would you? Because it's I don't know if you can ever say it's cost effective around the country. They had one little kid, I think it was like 8 years old, and playing baseball, whatever, and you get a pitch, like you said, a hockey puck, whatever, a pitch to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you can be at a little league game and they don't have what the NFL has.
Yeah.
So as a public, are we willing to, when we have sports, are we willing to pay and have those individuals available at all these athletic events? See, money's always involved in everything. But you understand, the NFL, they've gotten better in how they address things.
And also the college and high school.
Yes, college, it's all from pros, college, high school, Little League, and all that. That all of a sudden it's a life or death situation when something like that happens. I heard someone last night, it was about 2 in the morning, I couldn't sleep, and it was on CNN, and a doctor like you went up there and said that how your heart beats in the rhythm, that when you're actually getting hit, it almost, you can get hit and nothing won't happen, but it depends on the rhythm, and he said it's almost like getting struck by lightning.
There's a second mechanism that may be at play here, and I think we'll learn later on if they intend to reveal it. When we do heart transplants on people, we literally disconnect the heart from the entire body, obviously. Well, there's a neuronal brain connection between the brain and the heart. The brain is always communicating with the heart. And sometimes in this trauma situation, that gets disrupted and the heart goes into a fatal rhythm. That could have occurred last night. We won't know that, and they may never ever reveal it, but that's the second possibility between just the trauma disrupting the electrical system, or the second one being you actually disrupt the nervous system to the heart from the significant trauma.
Well, you know, the game could not have gone on.
No.
When you look at, because as being a professional athlete, Richard, you're so like freaked out, you're in shock. What just happened? Because that's your buddy, your teammate, or even your opponent. And, you know, they teach us to compartmentalize adversity. But that's like a human being. We're not robots. We are humans. We love to be entertained. We love the aggression of football. And the one thing, we don't want it to be flag football. We want it to be tackle football. So I think, as tragic as it was a freakish accident. Because it would have happened before. I mean, it's happened in different sports, but it was so magnified because it's on national TV.
And Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou. Thank you, Don.
And right after the break, Stan Gravois takes a look at key high school football games on Sports on the Bayou.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford & Associates. For all of your insurance needs, Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, and St. Martin & Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here with Sports on the Bayou. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of DeMar Hamlin and also DeMar, and praying for the very best for him. Martin?
All right, two very important guests. We have Mayor Tommy S.J. from Thibodaux. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. We've got a few more days. The clock is ticking.
Yeah, we don't need
playing
Tommy
a lot
anymore.
of golf.
We don't need Tommy anymore. Come on. Have a good New Year.
We're passing the torch.
I think Tommy sort of feels the same.
Right, he's ready to go.
He's been a heck of a mayor, really has. Kevin Claymore is the newly elected mayor. He takes over in a few days. So Kevin, having a guy like Tommy as a mentor, make it a little easier taking office? Are you leaning on him a lot?
It's like having Bobby Hebert as quarterback. It made everything easy. Just his experiences and his knowledge that he's passed on to me, and the little bit of information I've picked up to him. Yeah, invaluable, really invaluable.
And let me go to the mayor. A few more days. The most important question.
Six to be exact. So
Six
I'm
to be
not
exact.
counting.
Not what you can do in the last 6 days, because me and you have talked 1,000 times over the years. What you going to do when you get out?
Play a lot of golf, that's for sure. But just get away from it, right? You know, it's time. Nobody has to shove me out of the office. I knew when I went in 12 years ago that I wouldn't be there that long, and 12 years is a long time. Believe me, it is. It's a long time in an athlete's career, right, Bobby?
Right.
It's a hell of a long time in a mayor's career.
Kevin, congratulations. You'll be going to his office probably a little later today and ask him a little more advice, right?
I'm trying to soak up as much info as I can right now.
All right. Congratulations,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Good to see y'all. Thank y'all. We'll be right back. Coming up on Sports on the Bayou, we'll put the naming sponsors against the host in picking the scores of the games this week. Who'll be the closest? We'll see if the sponsors can beat the experts as Sports on the Bayou continues.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Whether it's your home or your business, Bayou Pure specializes in disinfection application, along with water, fire, mold damage cleanup. Call Bayou Pure today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
BCG Services, local experts for concrete leveling and foundation repair, providing quality solutions for a variety of foundation issues. With years of experience applying Floor Shield products to both homes and businesses, you can trust our team to provide high-quality results. Call for a free consultation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford & Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin & Bourke, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, you got it.
Back. I brought my Brainiac. He's going to help us out. All right, we're going to check out the scores. Let's see what we got. All right, last week's winners. Alford & Associates.
Whoa. Whoa.
Raise the roof. Stand up. Come on, stand up. Stand up.
They're out of the cellar.
Whoa. Those corporate meetings have turned you all around. Wow, what you think of that?
I think it was a good pick. I'm excited for this. The Eagles are in the playoffs, so I think it's a great pick.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, we upset them.
Maybe they'll give you a discount in your insurance when you get a little older. How about that?
Or maybe not.
Look who won the net. Bobby man snuck past me on this one.
Well, the thing is, I didn't really get it right. I just thought LSU would win by 3 touchdowns, not by 50 points. But
Martin, you and I were close, but he beat us out by 1 point.
We had to throw him a bone.
Yeah.
What do you think about Bobby winning that one?
I don't think it's a good pick. Purdue's not ranked. LSU was number 5 at one point.
So you think I should have picked LSU to crush it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, heck with Coach Fritz. We're going to have him up there.
Yeah, we got to talk to that teacher about
let's look real quick. Let's go through them real quick. All right, here we go. Last week's winner, St. Martin & Bourke.
What?
Joe, wow. You could go back to the office and ask for a raise.
So where's Chuck? Chuck's all excited about TCU.
See, I picked 34-33 Tulane. They just snuck past. Man, what you think of that?
That was a great pick. Both high-scoring teams. I've liked the pick a lot.
All right, well, if you like it, I like it. All right, let's go to the next ones. What do we have coming up? Winning pick standings. Stan still running away with it with 9. Debbie's had 5. Bobby, you had 5.
Catching up with Debbie. Well, what I do is I'll call Debbie during the week and I'll say, who are you picking? I get some advice.
And look, let me ask you something. What do you think about Harry McCullough over there? He only has 2 wins, but his daughter was getting married this weekend. It was a great wedding, by the way. But you think his mind wasn't on what he was doing for a while?
It's been like that all year, tell him.
Well, the thing is...
Did I ask you a tough question?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, Harry's trying. He's trying.
Yeah,
he's putting the effort.
All right, so let's run real quick. What do we have? That's it, the winning. Bobby's got the Saints over the Panthers. Got Georgia over TCU. Next, real quick. Got Saints. Rich got Saints over the Panthers. Georgia over TCU. Mike's got Saints winning. Everybody picking Georgia so far. What do you think about that?
I like all the Saints picks. I feel like the Panthers, after coming off a hard loss, are going to take that personally. And TCU, you got to take that serious. They just beat Michigan, who is a number 2. They smoked Ohio State. I think TCU might actually win it all.
Wow. Okay.
I think Chuck paid him.
Next up, Mike's got,
too late. We already picked.
Look, I got Saints over the Panthers. I got Georgia, TCU. So you just embarrassed me by what you said. All right, next up, Harry McCullough, Saints over the Panthers, Georgia.
Oh, 52
big score over
points.
TCU.
That's a whooping.
He's going for broke at the end here. All right. Stan, he's got Panthers winning it, 24-17.
He's the only one picking the Panthers.
And he's got Georgia over TCU. Debbie's got Saints squeaking by the Panthers and Georgia over TCU. We'll see how that fits. Dr. Pat, he has the Saints. Oh, he got TCU. He's playing his cards here.
He probably called up. He called up Stan.
Yeah. All right, is that it? Dr. Pat, Alford and Associate, 24, Panthers 14, Georgia, TCU, and a close one. Close one. Here we go. Next up, St. Martin and Bork, Saints over the Panthers, Georgia.
Wait. Chuck didn't pick that score. Georgia
Joe did.
Oh, Joe.
No
way. Hey, so Chuck's going to be, what are you doing, Joe? Come on. No,
Chuck's a TCU guy.
Yeah.
Witness protection, he said. All right. Next, Dr. Pat, Saints 27, Panthers 17, TCU 45, we did that one. Rouse's, Saints 24, and Georgia over TCU. You know why Rouse's has to pick the Saints?
Because they're sponsored.
Oh, yes.
Jimmy Fox.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Whoa. Man's on the ball.
Hey,
all right, there we have it.
Stuff. Sponsor right there.
All right, so I guess we're going to see everybody next week, huh?
That's it. We'll be back next week with another version of Sports on the Bayou.
That's it for Sports on the Bayou. Please visit us at HTV10 Facebook and HTV10 YouTube for a look at this week's show. We'll see you next week. Same place, same time.